This young man here, 25 years old, look at those eyes. Hungry, determined, convinced he was going to conquer the whole damn world. You know what's funny? I'd give anything to sit down with him, to grab him by the shoulders and shake some sense into him before he makes the biggest mistake of his life. But I can't. He's gone. I killed him with ambition. If you're under 40, you still have time. Time to avoid the trap I fell into. The trap that looks like success, feels like winning, but slowly, quietly, destroys everything that actually matters. Stay with me, because what I'm about to tell you took me 60 years to learn, and I'm praying you can learn it in 12 minutes. Let me take you back. 1964. I was 25 years old, just married, working at a factory making $8 a day. My hands were always dirty. My back always hurt. But Margaret, my wife, she'd smile when I walked through the door like I was a king anyway. I remember one night, we were eating dinner, nothing fancy, meatloaf, mashed potatoes, and she said, "Paul, you know what? I think we have everything we need." And I looked around that tiny apartment, peeling wallpaper, secondhand furniture, a bathroom so small you had to step outside to change your mind. And I thought, is this it? Is this all I'm going to be? I made myself a promise that night. I swore to God, I will never be poor again. I will build something big, something that proves I'm more than just another factory worker who disappears when he dies. Nobody asked me to make that promise. Margaret never complained. But I couldn't shake this feeling, this hunger, like I needed to prove something to the world. So I started climbing. At 28, I opened my first business, a small auto parts shop. Nothing fancy, but it was mine. I worked 16-hour days, 7 days a week. Margaret would bring dinner to the shop because I wouldn't come home. She'd sit on that old stool in the corner, eating alone while I worked. And you know what I'd say? "Baby, just a few more months. Once this place is profitable, I'll slow down. I promise." That promise had a 5-year expiration date, then another 5, then another. By 32, I had 3 locations. By 35, I bought my first luxury car, a black Cadillac. Cost more than my daddy ever made in 3 years combined. I drove it home that first night, windows down, radio up. Felt like I'd finally made it, finally became somebody. My son, Jimmy, he was 7, playing in the front yard when I pulled up, ball glove on his hand. He ran up to the car, eyes all wide, and said, "Daddy, does this mean you'll be home more now? Can we play catch?" And I laughed at him, tousled his hair and said, "Buddy, Daddy's got to work even harder now to pay for this beautiful machine. Maybe next weekend." Next weekend never came. There was always another deal, another meeting, another reason why next weekend would be better. He stopped asking. Kids learn quick when they're not wanted. You know what's dangerous about success? Real success? The kind that makes your neighbors jealous and your father-in-law finally respect you? It doesn't feel like you're losing anything. Every promotion, every new property, every zero you add to your net worth, it feels like proof. Proof that you're doing it right, that you're winning. And the sacrifices? Those are just temporary. You tell yourself, I'll make it up to them when this deal closes, when I hit this number, when things slow down. But here's what nobody tells you. What they don't put in those business books or success podcasts. The finish line moves. At 35, I thought if I made $100,000 a year, I'd be set. I'd have arrived, could finally relax. Hit it at 37. Felt good for about 3 weeks. Then I thought, well, if I can make 100, I can make 200. At 40, the magic number was $500,000. At 50, it was $1 million. At 60, I was chasing 10. You see the pattern? There's no number that makes you feel enough. Because you're not really chasing money. You're chasing this feeling, this ghost, of finally being somebody people can't ignore. But money can't give you that. I just didn't know it yet. By 55, I had everything. 7 properties, fleet of cars, investments in 4 countries. They invited me to speak at conferences. Young guys would ask for my advice, take notes like I was some kind of oracle. Look at these. Award ceremonies, ribbon cuttings, charity galas, always in a tuxedo, always with a drink, always with people around me. And I was the loneliest man in every room. You can be surrounded by 1,000 people and still be completely alone. I know. I did it for 30 years. My daughter got married when she was 28, Sarah. Beautiful ceremony. 300 guests. Flowers flown in from France. 7-tier cake. Orchestra. Open bar. I paid for everything. Spared no expense. You know how many times she called me during the planning? To ask my opinion? To share her excitement? To just talk to her dad about her wedding? Not once. Everything went through Margaret. Every decision. Every update. Her mother was the messenger. In our own house. At the reception, I gave a speech. Talked about how proud I was. How she'd grown into this amazing woman. How blessed her husband was. When I sat down, my son leaned over and whispered, "Dad, that's the most you've said to her in 5 years." He wasn't being mean. He was just telling the truth. I didn't know my daughter. I knew her resume, her GPA, the college she graduated from, the job she got. But I didn't know her favorite song, what made her laugh, what she was afraid of, what she dreamed about. I had purchased a relationship, tuition, car, wedding, down payment on a house. But I hadn't built one. And she knew it. She'd always known it. These are from Jimmy, my son. He used to draw me pictures when he was little. This one says, "My dad" at the top. See that? The briefcase is bigger than the person. Even at 6 years old, he understood. The work was bigger than the man. When he was 17, told me he wanted to be a teacher. Elementary school. Know what I said? A teacher? Jimmy, you're smarter than that. With your grades, you could be a lawyer, a doctor, run a company someday. Don't waste your potential on a teacher's salary. He became a teacher anyway, 3rd grade, makes $47,000 a year, and he's happier than I've ever been in my entire life. His students love him. He knows every kid's name, their siblings' names, what they're struggling with, what makes them light up. He goes to their soccer games, stays late to help them with reading. He's everything I taught him not to be, and he's everything I should have been. Last Christmas, one of his students' parents came up to me, said, "Mr. Jimmy changed our daughter's life. She was so shy, wouldn't talk to anyone. Now, she raises her hand first, wants to be a teacher just like him." Nobody ever said that about me. Nobody's life got better because I sold auto parts. My wife's name is Margaret. Was Margaret. I mean, she's still Margaret. Still my wife. 57 years this November. But she doesn't live in the house anymore. She lives in the guest house out back. Has for 8 years now. Not because we don't have room. We do. This place has 6 bedrooms. But after 40 years of eating dinner alone while I worked late, after 40 years of sleeping in a bed where the other side was always cold, after 40 years of being married to a ghost, she chose herself. We have coffee together on Sundays, sit on the porch, talk about the weather, the grandkids, what she's reading. We're polite, friendly even. We're strangers who share a property line. And you want to know the worst part? The absolute worst part? I can't point to the moment I lost her. There wasn't one big fight, no affair, no dramatic exit. It was 1,000 small moments, 1,000 dinners she ate alone, 1,000 times she reached for me in the dark and I wasn't there, 1,000 conversations she wanted to have that I was too tired or too busy or too distracted to listen to. If you're married right now, If you have someone who loves you, hear me. They will not wait forever. They won't announce it. They won't burn bridges on their way out. They'll just slowly, quietly move their heart somewhere you can't hurt it anymore. And by the time you notice, it's too late. The door's already closed. You're on the wrong side. 2 years ago, I started writing letters to Margaret, to the kids, to that 25-year-old kid in the photo. Letters I'll never send. Dear Paul, the Cadillac won't make you happy. The corner office won't make you enough. The 7 properties won't keep you warm when you're 85 and alone. The only thing that's going to matter is this. Did the people you love feel loved by you? Not impressed by you. Not provided for. Loved. I can't send these, because the man they're written to, he's dead. I killed him. With ambition and pride and this desperate need to prove something to people who weren't even watching. I'm 85 years old. I wake up every morning in a house that's too big and too quiet. I eat breakfast alone. I work in the garden that nobody sees. I go to bed at 8:30 because there's nothing to stay awake for. And here's what you need to understand. This isn't a tragedy that happened to me. This is a choice I made every single day for 60 years. You think you're different. I know you do. You think you'll find the balance. You think you can have both. Maybe you can, but you won't do it by accident. The men I know who have full lives, full hearts, they made different choices than I did. They chose being there over being impressive. They chose presence over presence. They chose dinner tables over board tables. And here's the secret. They're still successful. They still provide. They still achieve. But they decided what success meant before society decided for them. I have $3.2 million left. After everything, that's what remains. Sounds like a lot, doesn't it? It's worthless. I'd trade every single cent for one more dinner where Margaret looks at me the way she did when we were 25. I'd trade it for one more afternoon where Jimmy asks me to throw a baseball instead of asking for money for his classroom. I'd trade it for Sarah to call me, not because she needs something, just because she misses her dad. But money doesn't buy time machines. And at 85, I'm all out of chances. If you're 25, you've got 60 years ahead. If you're 40, maybe 45. If you're 55, 30 if you're lucky. However many you have left, please, don't spend them becoming me. Don't trade your family for your career. Don't trade presence for productivity. Don't trade love for money. The world will tell you you need more money, more status, more square footage. The world is lying to you. What you need is simple. You need people who know you really know you and love you anyway. You need to show up for the small moments, because those are the only moments there are. I'm 85. My story is written, ink's dry. But yours isn't. Every day is another page. Every choice is another sentence. Please, write a better ending than I did.